Don with your hosts, Jimmy Thompson and Donato Bucci. They're covering the most current issues in sports from the 305 to the 412 and all the way to the West Coast. You can follow them on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at JT and the Don, or email them at jtandthedon@gmail.com. Now take it away, guys.
Give them a shot to do what?
Welcome to the next episode of JT and the Don, presented by Give Us a Shot Network. I am the Don, Donato Bucci, and remember to subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, and wherever you find all of your other favorite podcasts. And remember to leave us a 5-star review, as well as remember to please subscribe to the Give Us a Shot Network YouTube channel. And as JT is pointing before I even introduce him, to our social media handle at JT and the Don, especially on Instagram. He does a great job there. So I might as well bring him in. Let's welcome in everyone's favorite. He couldn't wait to get on the show tonight. JT, Jimmy Thompson, how you feeling today?
Why are you acting like they can't see me? You're acting like I'm standing behind some curtain where you're going to reveal me like they can see me. You're just supposed to. You're just the first person to speak, so I let you do your thing.
Right.
Great job, by the way. I think you do a really good job with intros and, wrapping up the show. Everything else in between is questionable, but hey, look, you start off great and you end the show great. I got to give credit where credit is due.
Hey, they say it's not how you start, but how you finish. So.
He just ignoring all the stuff in the middle.
Yeah. I mean, if Michael Jordan hits the game-winning three-pointer, you think anyone remembers if he only had 12 points? No. They're going to be like, oh, Michael Jordan's the GOAT because he hit the three-pointer to win the game. That's what I do.
So you just basically described Robert Horry. So you're Robert Horry. You're not Jordan. You're Horry.
I'm Michael Jordan. It doesn't matter what happens during the show because Robert Horry was always called in at the end. I'm always called in at the end.
Can we get started?
I mean, I guess. Let's go. So another week of the NFL season. Week 6 is in the book. So let's do our weekly reactions, JT. And before we do that, Scotty, thanks again for listening. 5 stars. He knows the line. He knows the company line. Give us the 5 stars. He knows I'm
carrying this show. I'm the only reason we got a 5-star rating.
He tells me off.
This is 5-star. This is 5-star talent. Look. You going along for the ride, man. You are Trent Dilfer.
Wow. So you're the Baltimore defense, not even close. Boy.
Oh, yeah,
not even close. All right, let's just get started. So give me one player, performance, or storyline you are not overreacting to.
I guess this can all roll into one. You can choose a player. You can choose a performance. It's the 49ers losing to the Browns. I know we both called the 49ers to win that game, especially with no Deshaun Watson. But we talked about it after the show, like, hey, it's on the road. It could be a little bit of a trap game. And let's call it what it is. The Browns have a top 2 defense in all of football. Like, they're unbelievable. They just don't necessarily always do it on offense, so they don't have Nick Chubb anymore. But I'm not going to overreact to the 49ers losing on the road after having such an emotional win against Dallas the week before. Like, it happens in the NFL. As soon as you have one big performance, the next week is almost guaranteed to be a letdown. So the 49ers are still a top 3 team to me. And even though they lost to the Browns, I'm not just going to overreact and throw them out.
I don't think anyone's overreacting.
That's not what I've seen on social media. See, that's a problem. You need to go on social media. People, like you don't know how to read the room. You have no pulse on what is going on.
Because those people on social media that you're following and listening to, then when you look at the national media in terms of like ESPN, they're the ones that are bringing in those reactions. So listen, at the end of the day, you took the low-hanging fruit, and that's fine. Really, what I'm not overreacting to is the Bengals' victory. Now, I'm going to keep saying this every time they win. Every week
until you're 100% right, or they keep making you look like a fool.
It's all false hope. like I heard on the radio, because I look outside of
media.
I look out, national media. That's why it's called national media. Social media is not national media.
I think it's better.
So what they're saying is, oh, the Bengals are back. They're 3-3. They weathered the storm. They're right in the division race. Baltimore, Cleveland. They don't even think about Pittsburgh. They're like, oh, Baltimore, Cleveland didn't take advantage of it. But guess what? The Steelers are tied for first. And the thing is, they all think like, oh, this is great. Cincinnati's rolling. Joe Burrow, to me, has got 11 more games to play. JT, he's not surviving these 11 games. T. Higgins is already banged up. They're not this, like, people keep thinking they're the team 2 years ago that had a really, really good defense that got to the Super Bowl.
Let's call it what it is. The Bengals 2 years ago had their Kawhi Leonard in Toronto run. Like, it just happens. It's inexplicable. Like, sometimes people just get hot in the playoffs. It's like when the Ravens won with Joe Flacco. Were they the best team? No, but, they just happened to get hot at the right time. No different than those Giants teams that were wild cards that ended up going to the Super Bowl. So I get the worry, but I mean, if anything, this is who the Bengals are. Like, they've shown us this. Like, they start off slow for whatever reason, and then they catch fire at the right time. Their teams are able to do that when they're talented.
But they're not. That's the thing. Outside of Burrow and Chase,
the Chiefs used to always start slowing games, and then Tyreek Hill hit a couple bombs, and then they're right back in it. Like, you got to have some faith in the Bengals. They've done it before.
No, but JT, that's different. This team, again, see, you're comparing
it to two.
No, you're comparing it to last year and 2 years ago. They are not as talented. I'm telling you right now, with 11 games to go, disaster is waiting to happen for the Bengals. I'm telling you. All right. So one player performance or storyline you are panicking on.
Ooh, there's so many things you can panic on, man. I'm panicking. I guess this is not really like breaking news, but I'm panicking on Desmond Ridder, man. Like, he's not it. He's not it. And as much as I hate to say that, because I know what that means, that it's Taylor Heineke time, and a certain somebody swears he's an MVP in waiting, which he is not, but he better than this.
It's not me, by the way. It's not me. Make that clear.
The Falcons should have had that game, and he just kept making bad turnovers, fumbles, 3 interceptions. The last interception was the straw that broke the camel's back. Like, there's no way you can go in that locker room and say, like, yeah, he gives us the best chance to win. I like the guy, but I'm just not seeing it. It's a wrap. They need to make a quarterback change if they want to make the playoffs.
Yeah, that's kind of the consensus. That's a good one. Who I'm panicking on, and this may be an overreaction, and I'll admit it may be an overreaction. I'm panicking on the Eagles, man. Again, they're living off of last year. They're supposed to be this great team. I'm telling you, offensively, they're not as good. Jalen Hurts is struggling. Like,
is he struggling?
There's something. Did you see that interception? He wasn't doing that last year. Come on now.
But let's keep it real.
I don't care that it was one pass.
The
Jets defense is good.
Yes, they were down Sauce Gardner, but there's still a great defense. It's a top 5 defense. Look what the Jets defense has done to all the good quarterbacks they've played. They've all struggled. Josh Allen threw three interceptions on opening night. Are we panicking?
This is the second question. Oh my god! You got to bring up Josh Allen, the Bills.
You want me to go through the list of guys they've played?
This is the second question and the second time I've been interrupted already on the show. Let me.
My bad. Let me get out your way.
Yeah, please back up. So what I'm saying is, there you go. Have a drink, relax a little bit, have fun in life. So what I'm saying is the Eagles have Super Bowl hopes, right? They got there last year, but guess what? They struggled in that NFC title game. You've even said it yourself. If Purdy was healthy, they lose. They lose to the Chiefs. It's not just about winning the division. It's not about beating the Cowboys, making a deep run in the playoffs. They're supposed to get back to the Super Bowl. And right now, what I'm saying is this team is missing something. And last year, that same Jets team that they played on Sunday that didn't have Aaron Rodgers, they would have rolled that team by 20. I don't care how good that Jets defense is, right? But they let them hang around. This is a different Eagles team, and I'm telling you right now, they're going to be in trouble unless they turn it around.
How many losses do they have?
1.
Okay.
That's 1 too many. They shouldn't have that loss.
Like,
they didn't have that.
We're panicking on the Eagles, and you're like, they have Super Bowl aspirations. They want to get back. Why are we not panicking on the Chiefs? They got the same record. And to me,
why, JT?
the Chiefs, they concern me more than the Eagles are playing. Because guess what? The Eagles, at least I know, they have the weapons and the talent to heat it up at any time. Like, I'm basically relying on Mahomes and Kelsey to last 11 more games and hope that's enough. Like, if I'm panicking on the Eagles, you got to be panicking on the Chiefs too.
No,
and hold on. I know you want to shit on this Jets defense, but look at the quarterbacks they've played and how they've done. Mahomes didn't do too good either. Like I said, Josh Allen struggled. So because Jalen Hurts maybe didn't have the perfect game that he had in the Super Bowl against the Jets defense, it's an indictment on him, but not on Mahomes and Josh Allen. Like, the Jets defense is legit. All the quarterbacks are struggling against them.
I didn't say
I would buy your Bengals panic more than the Eagles. Like, this is wrong.
I didn't say Hurts isn't good. I'm saying the expectation.
You make it sound like you wouldn't trade for him in Dynasty right now. I don't like the way you're phrasing this.
But what I'm saying, it's not just Hurts. It's the team in general. They're not playing as well. They're missing something. When you compare them to last year, they're not as good. And the 49ers are better. And when they're healthy, they're better than the Eagles. And you said, oh, why aren't I panicking on the Chiefs? Because they did this last year. Everyone, including you, counted them out at this time because they had a couple losses.
What are you talking about? I picked them to win it. I never counted the Chiefs out. I picked them to win it. I was with them all the way. Go pull the tape.
No, you weren't. No,
yes, I was. I picked them in the 49ers. I was all on the Chiefs.
You were like everybody else on social media.
No, I was not. No, I was not.
Listen to social media.
You drive me to drink.
I don't do anything to you, bro, except defeat you. All right, man. Check down game. Let's go to the check down game, NFL style. All right. We give you a question and provide multiple answers to it. And then we pick the answer that's most fitting, almost like multiple choice, which JT loved that back in the day when he was in elementary school, the easiest type of test for him. All right.
Taking shots at my education. Anyway.
Justin Fields' injury, more concerning. All right. That's the question. More concerning. Justin Fields' injury or Ryan Tannehill's injury for their futures?
Gotta be Ryan Tannehill. One, he's older and he hasn't played well. I feel like in like 2 years, 2 whole years, he hasn't played well. Because it wasn't that long ago we were like, damn, like Tannehill's having a resurgence in Tennessee. They gave him that big contract and he just hasn't been the same guy. And this is the same ankle that he had the tightrope surgery on, was it last year? So high ankle sprain to the same ankle, and he's older. I got to be more concerned. Like Fields, yes, a thumb injury, but he's young. He'll be back.
See, because what you just said at the end, I look at it the opposite. Like Tannehill, JT, like we know what he is. All the teams know what he is, right? And even if the Titans are trying to move on from him, Tannehill will find a backup job somewhere and be like that Brian Hoyer guy where he's starting 4 games out of the year. So, and he's made his money. Whereas I look at Fields and it's like he has a team option coming up this year because it's the end of
that dreaded 5th year option.
Yeah, he has the third at the end of the 3rd year is when you make the decision. So he has that coming up. He wants a starting job. He's not just going to be. He shouldn't be just satisfied with sticking around the NFL. Like this is why he needs to be on the field and he needs to play again this year. And I'm talking about multiple games because he either needs to show the Bears he's the man, or if they don't believe in him, but he balls out.
Yeah, put something on tape.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why I'm concerned for his future. Not that it's going to affect his future, like the actual injury, but the injury could affect his
stock.
Yeah, way to put it. Perfect. Finally, you chime in and help me out. Thank goodness.
You struggle. Right. I told you. You Robert Horry. I got to save you. You only good at the beginning or the end of the game.
If I was Robert Horry, I'd be bailing you out.
So you can't average 25 and then 5, man. You can't do that. You're not built like that.
So, but you're saying you need bailed out. That's great.
No, I let my teammates participate.
I'm Superman, man. I'm Superman. All right. So more concerning: 49ers lost to the Browns or the Eagles lost to the Jets?
I feel like we already answered this question. So my more concern. I would say the more
you're not concerned about the Niners lost to the
Browns. I'm not concerned about the Eagles either. So if I had to pick the lesser of 2 evils, I guess I'm more concerned about the 49ers loss because they came out of that game with more injuries. CMC's hurt, Debo's hurt, Trent Williams is hurt.
CMC's
they're more banged up.
No long-term injury.
The Eagles, Jalen Hurts just sucks, so they can fix that.
No one ever said he sucks. He's going to be a Pro Bowl quarterback.
We're not going back and forth. Which one are you more concerned about?
You're not going to put words You're not going to put words in my mouth when I didn't say he sucks. I'm saying he's not playing at the level he did last year, and that's what may be concerning. It's the Eagles. See above. See my perfect explanation earlier. That
See the
JT,
previous wrong answer? Gotcha.
That JT tried to break up the momentum there. All right, so more concerning. Well, I guess I know your answer here. Chiefs offense or Sean Payton's offense?
Bro, this is close because you
No,
know how
it's
much
not.
you know how much I dislike Matt Nagy. It's Sean Payton, man. Like, he's the latest old school coach that had success back in the day that's trying to jump
With
back
the
into
Hall
the
of Fame
NFL.
quarterback.
Yeah, with he had all the success with a Hall of Fame quarterback. Offense was ahead of the curve back then, and he just thinks his arrogant ass is going to walk into today's game and be like, you know what, I know what's best. And to be honest with you, all that shit he talked about Hackett in the offseason, they look just as bad. At least I felt like the Broncos could win some games last year. They were close. Like, this offense with Sean Payton just looks bad. And I refuse to believe this is all Russell Wilson. Like, this Sean Payton, maybe he's more Mike McCarthy on this second time around than we want to admit. But I'm worried about Sean Payton because the first draft wasn't that great. And now you got to replace the guys that are going to be gone next year with another draft. He's not exactly inspiring me to believe in him.
So it's Sean Payton's offense more concerning for kind of what you said. And then the other thing is, let me ask you this, JT, 3 questions. Chiefs still got Andy Reid as head coach?
This guy had one good response.
Answer.
All the times we've been doing this show.
Andy,
and you can't keep going back to this well.
I'm not going to go on to the next question until you answer these 3. Do the Chiefs still have Andy Reid as the head coach? Okay, that's a yes, thumbs up. Is Patrick Mahomes still their quarterback? Yep, thumbs up. That's a yes. Travis Kelce still their tight end? Yes. There we go. It's Sean Payton's offense.
Matt Nagy, their offensive coordinator and play caller.
Andy Reid, Mahomes, and Kelce trump Nagy. So don't worry about it. All right. Next question: relax or panic? All right. So we give you the option: relax or panic, and we'll give you a player or a situation. Relax or panic on Geno Smith?
Panic. Because Geno Smith, he's not looking like the Jets Geno Smith that we've grown to know over the years, but he's not looking like the guy that had a resurgence last year. I mean, like, this is like a Peyton Hillis type of performance he had last year going to the next year where one hit wonder, and then the next year he's not the same guy. And he got an extension. So when you get that money, like, teams are expecting you to carry the team as the quarterback, and he's just not doing it. And it's crazy because they gave him more weapons this year than they had last year. Like, you add a guy like JSN and our guy Charbonnet, like, he might not be getting all the touches, but he's there. Like, that offense on paper, the skill position guys, they're loaded. And, like, Geno doesn't look as good as last year, so I got to be panicking on him.
Nah, you're wrong. Relax on him, okay? Against Carolina, threw for 296 and a touchdown, all right? And then it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
And
right.
Their record's 3-2. We knew they weren't going to win the division. They're 3-2. Probably should have beaten the Cincinnati Bengals, but, it's a road game. He still threw for 323 yards against the Bengals, and then he managed the game.
No touchdowns.
That's fine. We know he's going to throw 2 picks. Like, we know he's going to throw interceptions. But again, that's a tough road trip going cross country. And I think it was a 1:00 game on top of that. So that's like 10 o'clock their time. He managed the game against the Giants. They still scored 21 points. And listen, that's all he needs to do. Feed DK, feed Tyler Lockett, JSN.
Be available. That's the real person I'm panicking on the Seahawks. Like, DK just not it. So he got to do more. He got to show me more.
They'll be fine. Well, I should say Geno will be fine. I don't know about the team, but Geno will be fine. All right, next one, relax or panic. Patrick Mahomes not playing at an MVP level.
Can I pick like the middle one? Because
no,
I'm not.
You don't allow me to do it. You don't allow me to do it.
I'm not panic. Well, I can't full on panic because it is Patrick Mahomes, and I feel like as long as he has Travis Kelce, like, the play call, he can only do so much if it's bad because he's just going to look for Kelce anyway. But I can't relax on this because, I mean, you just made the argument of why the Eagles worry you. Like, this worries me about Patrick Mahomes. They need him to play at an MVP level if they're going to make it back and win a Super Bowl. He's not doing it. And I feel like every year it's always something that we're making him overcome. First, it was Tyreek Hill. He made it. Congratulations. Now he's got to overcome coaching and not having any wide receivers. I got to panic a little bit because he played at MVP level with this team last year and it got him to the Super Bowl. And he's not doing it right now. So until he does, I'm going to panic on it.
Listen, it's Patrick Mahomes. Relax. Like, it's Patrick Mahomes. You're acting like it's this guy that's never done this before. He has 2 Super Bowls, by the way. And listen, wasn't this the same concern like last year or 2 years ago where teams started to go cover 2, take the deep ball away?
This man taking all my – he's trying to take all my arguments. I try to come on this show and be nice to you and share my behind-the-scenes expertise opinion, and there you go trying to use it, throw it back in my face.
Yeah,
you're not a real friend.
And you know, people think like, when are they going to make the cover 2 illegal? Like zone defense was illegal in the NBA. Like,
you know what? We're not having any more conversations outside this show. I can't trust you.
History says
you are plagiarizing right now.
History says Patrick Mahomes is fine and just relax. Listen, JT, he follows a lot of social media. He's on a lot of social media. He does a great job with our social media account and Instagram in particular, no doubt. But he's on it so much, he starts to believe everything that he hears. Like, oh, Patrick Mahomes is only a top 18 quarterback. Like, that's what he's starting to believe. Don't believe everything you read, JT. All right, so we're sticking with the relax or panic, all right? Bijan Robinson and Jahmyr Gibbs early returns.
Oh, full on panic. We talk about this all the time. You are the biggest hater when it comes to teams taking running backs in the first round, much less in the top 15. But if you draft those guys at those spots, you have to use them out of the gate. Bijan, he's splitting carries with a guy that was undrafted. Like, I don't know what the Falcons are doing. Like, you drafted this guy number 7 overall. Feed him the rock. I want him to get 300 touches any way you can. Jahmyr Gibbs, we talked about it when the Lions took him at 12. Like, what are they doing? And they're also not using him. Like, you don't take a guy number 12 overall to say, like, hey, you know, he's going to live with these 5 to 6 touches per game. We're going to baby him. No, like, those first-round picks need to be doing what you drafted him to do, or you're setting your team back. So I am panicking on their early returns because they have not lived up to their first-round draft status.
So I'm going to say relax on Bijan because if you look at that October 1 game, it was a huge game for him.
That's the London game?
I think so. Yeah, October 1. And if you look, JT, the Falcons have no passing game, right? You just said it like you're panicking on Desmond.
Or they don't have a quarterback.
On Desmond. Yeah, but that's part of the passing game, unfortunately. Like, so what's happening is defenses are stacking the box. There's 13.67 plays a game where they're facing at least an 8-man box. That's number 2.
About me being out there with the information.
That's number 2. They're facing the second most 8-man boxes. Last year they were number 1 in facing 8-man boxes. So I think they're actually doing a great job limiting his touches early in his career, knowing we don't have the passing game. We don't have the well-rounded offense to supplement what he does. Let's not waste his prime years in his rookie year going nowhere. Let's let Algier get some touches.
Let's let Algier take the car accidents. And let's treat Bijan like early Derrick Henry. Let's let him relax for a couple years, and then we'll let him break out.
And
Smith was responsible for that, though, breaking out Derrick Henry. So I thought he would do the same thing with Bijan.
But he waited, and we know Bijan has the talent. Now with Gibbs, I'm panicking. Just part of it's a gut feeling, but also you look. He's already got the hamstring injury, so he's already on a limited basis, and I wonder if the Lions know something we don't now that he's in-house, like, yo, this guy can't handle that load because they're not running him into the ground. And even Montgomery,
not running him at all.
And Montgomery's been hurt too. So, like, I don't understand what they're doing with them. So my concern is they've realized we shouldn't have taken them that early, and now they're in trouble.
I feel like I'm concerned about Gibbs from the aspect of David Montgomery has been just knocked out of like 3 games. And every time he gets hurt, they're like, oh, this is like a 2 to 4 week injury. And then they look at like, all right, do we want to shoot up David Montgomery and send him out there at 20%? Or do we want to turn it over to Jahmyr Gibbs? And they're like, hey, D-Mon, suit up. So that makes me nervous.
That's what I'm saying.
I think what the Lions have realized is, I think they thought they were getting Alvin Kamara, and I think people don't realize, yeah, Kamara's a pass catching back, but he's also a really strong guy for his size. Like, he can take contact with getting a lot of carries. Is that the best thing for him? No, but he can do it. Like, I don't think Jahmyr Gibbs can get it. Like, what's the difference between like Jahmyr Gibbs right now and like all those other pass catching backs that used to play for the Lions, like a Theo Riddick or any one of those other like pass catching guys?
Javid Best.
Yeah, at least Javid Best can run between the tackles at least, but they got to show me more. Maybe it's because he's hurt, but I need to see more from Gibbs. But I'm panicking on both of them still.
All right, I got Bijan with relax. Gibbs, I am panicking. All right, relax or panic. Bill Belichick's career reaching the end.
Relax, because as long as he's chasing that Don Shula record, I think his job is pretty much safe, no matter how bad he does. But he also got to be careful, because isn't he also reaching like the most losses too? He's just coached that long, like he's getting up there. So I will say, because he's chasing history, I'm gonna relax. I don't think the Patriots would end his career that way.
You bring up a good point, but I'm panicking because, of course, it's true. Like, just based on his age, JT. I mean, he is reaching the end.
Like, coaches got to be spring chickens.
But what I'm saying is,
coaching.
What I'm saying is, how much longer can he really do it to where, he's not hurting the team? And if he continues to be the GM, I think the end will come much faster. They're not very talented.
That's the thing they need to be panicking on. Stop letting them be the GM. He's been horrible at this.
I think we talked about it on last week's episode. And the thing is, yeah, that's great. He's chasing the record. But JT, at this point, the way they're not winning games, it's going to take them more than 3 years down the line. Like, can the Patriots really, truly rely on that? Because if they do, they may not be good for the next 10 years, and they're not used to that. And listen, I don't care what you've done. It's not what you did for me yesterday. It's what you did for me today. And Patriot fans will only have a certain amount of patience, especially since they saw what Tom Brady did after he left New England.
Damn, so 6 Super Bowls can't buy you a lifetime of goodwill.
Nope.
Like, there's no hope.
Not in Boston.
There's no hope.
Not in Boston, not in Philly, and not in New York. Well, maybe New York, but not in Boston, not in Philly. And our guy, Scotty, Bill the GM is killing Bill the coach. It's true. It's absolutely true. All right, next question. Jackpot or fool's gold? The LA Rams.
I think it's jackpot. I mean, I know we wanted to count them out, but we should have seen this coming. If you told me that Stafford and Cooper Kupp were going to be healthy for a majority of the season, I would say there's no difference of this team and then the one that went to the Super Bowl and won it. Like, that's basically what it was. It was Stafford and Kupp with that special connection and the rest of the team staying healthy. And now you throw in this year, they got Puka Nacua, who's looking like a stud. And then who would have thought Tutu Atwell would be an actual NFL receiver? He even looks good this year. And then you throw in guys like Kyron Williams, he's played better than any running back played during that year they won the Super Bowl. So, yeah, I mean, it's for real. Like, because we've seen them do this before.
Yeah, and before I go, Scotty following up says local New England media is calling for him to get fired. Told you, JT, you're just on social media. You're not looking at any other media.
Sorry,
yeah,
our budget can't afford
listen,
that.
If
you want me to send me the plane tickets, I'll go to Boston. I'll get a feel of what's going on locally, and I'll
turn on your phone. Just turn on your phone. Turn on your television in your mansion. Listen, Scotty, our guy, he's locked in the Boston sports. Huge Bruins fan, so he's locked in. So I'm going to believe what he says. But going back to the Rams, I agree. It's jackpot. And I wrote down everything you wrote down. Like, if this team stays healthy from here on out, like, they're going to make the playoffs. I mean, they're making a playoff push now. They're going to make the playoffs. They may not win the division, but they're going to be an issue once they get in the playoffs. And you look, Stafford, Kupp, we talked about Kyron Williams, Puka Nacua, and they still got Aaron Donald, bro. Am I right? They still got Aaron Donald.
He's still a top 5 defender.
Like,
he's still out there.
That's crazy. We're acting like he's done. Like, this team is good. And hey, they still got my guy, one of my favorite coaches, Sean McVay, at the helm. So they're going to put the time in. They're going to be prepared.
Sean McVay is your coaching idol. I feel like
you could
come back as anybody, you want to come back as him. He's like, Like, let me be this young, good-looking guy with nice hair, a mansion, and coach football for a living. I just want to come back as that guy.
That'd
Am
be
I
nice.
wrong?
That'd be either him or Mike Tomlin with the Steelers. I mean, talk about job security. Talk about job security. And I want to have Mike Tomlin's swag. That's what I want coming back too.
I've seen you be serious about live football, like not watching the game, but like football things that we've been involved in. Yeah, your attitude does more resemble Mike Tomlin. I will say that. So I can see you coming back as Mike Tomlin. And when you're upset about sports, you get the edge that I think will give you the Tomlin reincarnation. I can see it.
I don't know. Don't believe everything JT says. All right,
gotta get a clean fade though.
So Jack Potter, fool's gold. Dolphins as Super Bowl favorites.
Oh, this is tough. And I might not be allowed back in the city. I think it's fool's gold, man. And I'm not saying they can't win, but as the favorite, here's the one thing that's keeping me from putting them as the favorites. The Dolphins have to convince me that they can go on the road in the playoffs and win in a bad weather game with the way that we play. And I don't know that we can, because last year we went up to Buffalo, played in the snow, was not good. Only after it stopped snowing that the Dolphins looked competitive in that game. And I think, yeah, it's great. We have this team. We're a track star team. We're built on speed. We're a dome team. Can we go? Can we go to Cleveland? Can we go to an AFC North team? Can we go back to Buffalo? Could we go to Lambeau? Could we go somewhere cold or where the elements aren't South Beach and win an important playoff game? And I'm not saying we can't, but I haven't seen it yet. The 49ers could do that. The 49ers fully healthy could do that. So I have more faith in them as a Super Bowl favorite because of that than I do the Dolphins.
So a couple things. So one, Scotty says, love to go on a trip with JT. Listen,
hey, Scotty. As long as Don is paying for it and he don't gotta go, count me in.
See, that's the thing. I'm not paying for JT's trip.
You got it, man. You got it.
So Scotty, if he's paying for you, you're gonna have a lot of fun. But Scotty, you're gonna be annoyed with JT because JT hates Boston sports. So you think him and I are arguing a lot, man. He hates Boston sports. All right. So Dolphins as Super Bowl favorites. So one, actually, the 49ers are still the favorites at plus 450. The Dolphins are at plus 1,000. But to say let's say they would be the Super Bowl favorites, no, that's fool's gold right now because they're just not quite ready. They're not quite ready. Like you said, they need to show they can win the big game. And they need to be able to, I think, stay healthy the whole year as well. And that's for everybody, but especially them, because if they lose Tua, I think they're out.
Anybody.
And they really, at the running back spot, they're pretty good, right? They have that depth, but I just don't like how they lose so many running backs.
Because they're little guys, like Achane, little. Raheem Mostert's always hurt. Jeff Wilson just coming off IR, probably soon to go back on. The guy that you joked last week that there's a running back that nobody knows his name, but he's all the rage. He's already hurt now, too.
Something Brooks, I think. Brooks.
Brooks got an ankle injury in that game Sunday. He's out for a couple weeks. We just rotate the injuries.
Yeah. All right. Jack Potter, fool's gold. Zach Wilson as a competent NFL QB.
Fool's gold. Next. Yeah. No explanation needed.
Listen, if he was on another team with a worse defense than the Jets, man, he wouldn't even be starting at this point.
Legit question. Who would be better, Desmond Ridder or Zach Wilson on the Falcons? Because I think Zach Wilson could be decent on the Falcons.
I'm gonna go Desmond Ridder just because Desmond already won 2 games.
Because Desmond had never lost at home until Sunday.
That's right. That is right. So we got Santino Castillo. Hello, man. What's up, man? Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. And welcome to JT and the Don. All right, Jack Potter, fool's gold. Lions, the Detroit Lions.
I know I wanted to hate on this man. His corny ass press conferences and billboards material type sayings of biting kneecaps. But I gotta say, man, like this is jackpot. Because the one thing I worried about the Lions is they played well at home last year, but it was on the road where they always struggled, especially Jared Goff. Like he was a completely different quarterback in road games. just went down to Tampa. I think that's a big game. They might not be the defense they were like when they won the Super Bowl, but they still got some of those same guys on there on the Tampa defense. It's still a solid defense. And for him to go on the road and win, I mean, the Lions look legit. And the thing that's promising about them, we just talked about it. Some of their best guys haven't even shown us their potential. Like, imagine if they get Gibbs involved in his offense to his full potential. Imagine if David Montgomery is healthy for, more than one game. Jamison Williams is going to come back at some point. He just came back and caught a long touchdown. So this Lions team is one loss, but they're not even at 80% of what they should be. So I think that I have to think this is jackpot because they're winning despite not being a complete team yet.
So it is jackpot. They're 5-1, JT. The division doesn't scare me, so I think they're going to run away with the division. And Jared Goff, talk about MVP. Like, there's rumors that he's. I'm just saying.
Let me sit back and take a drink.
I'm just saying. And then, do you know the answer to this question? What's their record in their last 16 games?
It's probably 15-1,
13-3. That is amazing. Close. That's like the best 16-game stretch since like 1967 for that franchise.
And I'm pretty sure Jared Goff's numbers in that stretch are you can put him up against any quarterback in the league. I guarantee it's because he's played well.
So is that MVP talk? Is that what you're saying?
I need something more special.
Okay. So you're saying the MVP talk for Goff is fool's gold, but the Lions are jackpot.
Lions are okay. It's Man Campbell. He know what he's doing.
It's who?
And plus, I mean, let's be real. They got one of the best offensive coordinators in the league. Like, I'm surprised he's not a head coach already. Was it Ben Johnson? So I mean, I know.
I think I mentioned him last year, but he went back. Yeah,
he went back. Hey, they're not gonna get him back. He will be a Sirianni type or a Steichen type that you can't keep him twice. Yeah, he's gonna get away this offseason.
Right. All right. So college football. Quick recap here. Let's play the check down game, college football style. There you go, JT. So more concerning is the question: Caleb Williams against Notre Dame or Colorado's mid-season collapse, which included a 29-point blown lead at home last Friday night against Stanford.
First of all, shout out to the Stanford receiver who went nuts in the second half. Because I turned that game off at halftime. I was like, all right, it's over. But, I mean, as bad as Colorado's collapse has been, I mean, this is what we expected. We never expected them to be the team that they were out of the gates. But this is kind of what we expected. They would lose some close games to close competition, but they would get beat up by the big boys year one. I'm sorry. I know you're always like, oh, JT's overreacting. I asked you this question a week or two ago about Caleb Williams, and I got to ask it now because Notre Dame, he should have went in there and destroyed them. I'm sorry. They are tanking for you. There's only a few guys in my lifetime that NFL teams have been openly tanking for, and he's one of them. Yes, Caleb Williams is talented, but to be honest, what is the difference sometimes with him and guys like Johnny Manziel and Zach Wilson? Because he's doing the same stuff that they did in college that people drooled over. All this off-platform throwing, just all these crazy stats they're putting up, just the different arm angles and the arm talent. But the only difference is Caleb Williams has Lincoln Riley, which I think helps a lot. But games like this, from the NFL perspective, give me a little pause on, damn, are we going to see one of these quarterbacks that can't play in the NFL because he's so used to doing everything out of structure? For every Mahomes that we get that can do that went to an Andy Reid, we get a Johnny Manziel, we get Zach Wilson, we get guys that can't do that in the NFL. So I want to know, is Caleb Williams going to be one of those guys, or is he the real deal? And this game did not convince me that it didn't move me to all the way that he's for sure going to be able to overcome that in NFL. So I'm more concerned about him.
Yeah, I mean, his performance against Notre Dame is more concerning because, one, for his Heisman hopes, you have a big game at Notre Dame prime time, you're almost guaranteed to win the Heisman. I don't care if you won it last year.
That's that Heisman moment.
Heisman moment. So he misses out on that. And then also when you've looked, there's been times when they were the better team, like against Arizona and in some other games, even though Arizona is better than what we think, that why is this other team hanging around? Like, if you're that good, that dominant, you should be just blowing the doors open on these teams.
You
like
should bury these guys.
Right. And I don't see it this year. I don't know if it's all, I haven't seen enough of them. I don't know if it's all Caleb Williams, but that does mean there's some concern. And going back to what you said about Colorado midseason collapse, it's what Dion said. You better get us now. And that's kind of what's happening, right? We knew they didn't have the depth. We knew they didn't have the defense. They don't have the guys yet. So their midseason collapse, I think I told you this going into the Colorado State game. They got to win those early games because you look at that schedule. I mean, it was a murderer's row. It was like 6 ranked Pac-12 teams coming up. So why are you surprised that Colorado's having a midseason
we're not surprised.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I'm just asking in general. You're not. So Caleb's got to be the more concerning issue here. All right. More concerning, Mario Cristobal's future at the U after they lost. They blew a second halftime lead as well to UNC. Or more concerning is Dan Lanning's game management against Washington.
As much as I don't like Dan Lanning, it's Cristobal, man. It's like he's very close to losing this program. Like he's very close to losing this program, man.
It's lost. It's been lost for 20 years.
I want to have patience because I know he can get the recruits, but the UNC game showed me that one, the coaches are out of control. First of all, after the bullshit we pulled against Georgia Tech, how are the coaches finding new ways to put themselves on the national map as like a shit show? It was our defensive coordinator jumping on the field and getting a penalty. I'm like, what are you doing? Like these coaches it's like the Three Stooges. Like what is going on? Like I've never seen anything like this at any level. I haven't seen this from like Pee-wee coaches where like the dads are getting together and putting together a team. Like this is out of control, and I think it's rubbing off on the players. Like second half was unacceptable. Like there's no way you go into halftime the way we played in the first half and come out and just get destroyed like that. So I say Cristobal is only going to get worse. It's him.
So I'm surprised. I'm surprised you went with that, but it's Dan Lanning's game management. You know why? Because he's done this before. He's done this more than once. You go back to the Washington game You go back to the Washington game last year with his game management. And then in this game, it wasn't just he made one bad mistake, right? He made 3. He made at the end of the first half, they didn't get the field goal. Then there was something else. I think he went for a 2-point conversion or something. I forget what he did. And then at the end, instead of punting, making Washington go about 90 yards, goes for it on 4th. Now he gives them half the field, and Penix has his Heisman. And you give him his Heisman moment.
At home, you gave him half the field.
Right. It's not even at Oregon. So I'm questioning that. Like, I'm not questioning him as a coach, but his game management skills, which really
he lied to me. He lied to me because he said he was playing for wins. He was coaching like he was playing for clicks. I'm just saying that's what it looked like to me. Because we are talking about how shitty of a coaching job he did. So I mean, Dan, look. My man, if you see this, you told us, you play for wins. It's played on grass. I'm not believing it. You didn't show me that.
The other thing is there's 65 million reasons why there's no concern of Cristobal's future at the U.
He's stuck with this idiot.
That's his buyout.
You know what's the funny thing about Cristobal? I watch the games and I look at him on the sideline. He looks scared. He's like, oh God, like what's gonna happen? He gives that same look like, oh, like. It's almost like he's looking for a miracle to save him and win a game. Like it's not happening.
All right. So NBA season begins next Tuesday, October 24th. So we're going to give you our NBA season preview a week early so you have time to digest it and prepare for the NBA. We're excited, even though it is still football season, but eventually we'll ramp up and warm up to basketball season. So JT, we're going to play, this is what I named it. I went off script here. The NBA version of the check down game. We're just going to call it the fast break. I know you put NBA preview on the card. Should be the fast break.
All right, there you
go. All right. So quick answers. All right. More pressure. The Bucks or the Phoenix Suns?
Oh, it's the Bucks. Just because Dame was the talk of all offseason, the drama, the trade. Now he's with Giannis. the expectations are sky high. Like, we already know what the Suns are. We know what KD and Booker are. Like, we know that. So pressure is championship because Dame is there and he's with Giannis.
I disagree because I think people like Milwaukee. They like Giannis. It's a small market. So they're going to root for them. That's the difference. People will root for Dame Lillard.
They'll crush Kevin Durant.
Exactly. And that's why there's more pressure on the Phoenix Suns. Haven't they been the team the last 2 years? Like, they've been the team everyone's picking the last 2 years. Now, I think there's bigger expectations. All right, you fire the coach, Monty Williams, which I think was a mistake. You trade CP3, you blaming him. And I'm not saying he's.
And you got rid of Ayton, everybody thought, just get Ayton off this team, and he's holding us back.
Right, everyone's blaming him, and then you bring in KD last year. Now Bradley Beal. I mean, you talk about pressure. I mean, I don't know if there's a team with any more pressure than the Phoenix Suns. All right, more likely to disappoint, the Celtics or the Memphis Grizzlies?
Oh, this is easy. It's the Grizzlies, man. Like, first of all, the West is loaded. Remember when John Morant was like, I'm fine in the West? Everybody else heard that shit. It was like, all right, we heading out West. And he's missing 25 games. I think the thing that's going to really hurt them, and it's not going to show up in the box stats, but I think just in team leadership and, like, sometimes you need that toughness in certain games, is Dillon Brooks is no longer there. And I feel like Dillon Brooks was the guy that was like their tough guy, good on defense, but also he was the guy that could take a lot of the criticism from the media and kind of shielded guys like Morant or Jaren Jackson or Desmond Bane. Like, having him was like having a Draymond Green. Like, sometimes you need that guy to be an enforcer, but also be a villain, to take the pressure off of other guys on the team. I think they're going to miss him. I think Houston is going to like having him there, and he's going to bring the same thing that he did for Memphis there. And I just don't see how they get it all done. Like, I don't see it.
Well, the Grizzlies are not like a historic franchise, so I don't understand
where
these expectations. Like, you got to be able to disappoint means there's expectations. I still think they're too young, and people expect Ja Morant to mess up now and to post something on social media that JT's on 24/7. Like, the thing is, people are expecting that, but there's no expectation to be this great team. The Celtics, they have title aspirations. And don't they always, since the 08, I saw something, believe it or not, on social media the other day that said something like, there's never been a team that has gotten more out of one title than the 2008.
I told you that.
So
see, that's why I can't tell him anything. Bro, I swear, all the confidential conversations we have, I just know you put it in the folder to use later against me.
You didn't have me sign an NDA. I don't know what you
remind me to have my team drafted up.
So there's pressure on the Celtics. There's that expectation. And guess what? Don't we always know what they do? They fail and disappoint in the playoffs. Mainly to your Heat. Yeah, I agree. All right, so this next segment is going to be fun with the NBA. Prediction time, right? We're going to look back in like 8 months from now and see how wrong JT is and to see how many I get right. So let's go right off the bat. MVP, who you got?
Realistically, I have no idea who this could be, because if all else goes well, it's going to be Jokic, but I feel like that's not fair to just pick him because that's the easy one. So I'm living dangerously. I'm going to go with the guy that you picked last year. I think you were a year too early. I think it's going to be Jason Tatum. I think this the year he's going to do enough to not give the MVP to Jokic. So I think it's going to be him.
I think it's going to be Giannis Antetokounmpo. I'm expecting a big year from the Bucks. I know sometimes it takes time to gel with a new star that comes into town, but listen, man, it's Giannis's NBA, and we all just.
So are you telling me I should take Giannis in tomorrow's draft?
Are you going to fix it that you're number one pick and number one overall?
If I could, I would just take Jokic. I've never had the number one pick in that league, believe it or not.
So I'm going Giannis, third best odds, but more importantly, I'm telling you, I just think he's going to have a whirlwind of a year, just take the league again by storm. And he's got quite the partner in Dame time this time. All right. Defensive player of the year. I mean, Giannis could be up for that too.
He could be, but I'm going to live dangerously, because for this guy to win defensive player of the year, that means he's got to play. But if he does, I'm sorry. I don't think there's a better defender in the league. It's Anthony Davis, man. Just look at what he did in the playoffs last year. Like when he was healthy, by far the best defender in the league. And it's not like we haven't seen him play up to defensive player of the year levels before. It's just, can he stay healthy? And I feel like he might be starting to move on from the injury bug a little bit and starting to get finally healthy. And as that happens, that defense is going to be there. So I'm going with him.
I'm going to go with Evan Mobley. He finished third last year in the defensive player voting.
It's crazy because, I thought he had a bad year last year, but
right.
just on offense.
Well, that's what I think a lot of people look at, but you forget how good he was defensively, and he has the second best odds going in, only behind Jaren Jackson Jr. So I'm going Evan Mobley, and to be honest, I'm expecting a huge year from Evan Mobley.
So Giannis and Evan Mobley are either paired together.
They're going to be on my team. If you give me the number 2 overall pick, I'm going to have Giannis.
So if you got number
Mobley.
2 picking Giannis ahead of Jokic, Doncic, Embiid, and Tyrese Halliburton.
Yeah, I'm telling you right now, I'm going Giannis. I'm not going to lie. If I have the number 2, I'm going Giannis. I mean,
all right.
I don't need to.
You giving up on Luka for Giannis? That's how I know you believe this.
Yeah, no, I would definitely go Giannis over Luka for sure. All right, 6th man of the year.
This is an ugly award this year because this
tough.
could be anybody.
It's tough.
Anybody, but I'm gonna go with the guy that I think will get better because he's always shown flashes. But I think his coach.
Don't take my guy.
His coach will literally put him in this position that this will be the ceiling, even if he does play above the 6th man. It's Emmanuel Quickly for the Knicks because he's guaranteed to only be a 6th man because Thibodeau will not change anything in his rotation. So I like Quickly. I would pick him for another award, but I just don't think he's going to get anything more than 6-man minutes.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's like that safe pick. He should win it. I went a little bit dangerous here, I think, and now I'm starting to second guess it. I'm going to go Rui Hachimura. The question is he going to come off the bench? And if he does, he's shown glimpses of some good stuff, whether he was with Washington or late last year with the Lakers. So I think that Rui can be that 6th man, and he could fit that nice playoff type team that they have. Next one, most improved player.
All right. I'm going to give you the answer that I feel like will win it, but I don't think he should count as a most improved player. And I'm going to give you the guy that I think, if this were a fair award, who should get it. The guy that's going to get it is probably Mikal Bridges because he's going to have a full season to build on what we saw after he got traded to Brooklyn last year, where he just went nuts. And I'm like,
and
we saw him.
He's the odds-on favorite.
He is? Okay, so I was like, we saw him do it, but I'm like, how can that be improved? Most improved is like, we never seen this before. And
you were scoring 7 points off of like 12 minutes, and now you jump up to 18 points.
Exactly. Like this dude was putting up 30 points a game in Brooklyn last year, and he never misses a game. So like, how can you improve? But the guy, I'm going with the sleeper pick here. We both love this guy.
No, you're gonna pick my
pick. We both love this guy,
no,
and I feel like the coach that they have now is going to be the guy to unlock him. Finally, we're waiting for this moment. Alfred Şengün for the Rockets. It's him. I said it before. Baby Jokic can score, can rebound, can assist, and I know he gets shit for his defense, but he ain't that bad. Like, all he needed was a coach to give him minutes. And I think now that Houston's out of the tanking phase and now they got your boy Ime in there, Şengün going to do work.
That's who I had as well. And
you did?
That's why.
Damn, this draft going to be messed up tomorrow.
I'm devastated over here. I agree. I think it's him. When we talk about most improved, his stats are going to back that up as well. And I'm going to stick with that as well because I want to be right. And even though you're finally going to be right, I've got to stick with that answer. So we both agree on that one. All right, next one, Rookie of the Year. Don't take my guy.
This is another one. Like, no matter what we say, it's going to be Wembanyama. If Wembanyama has a decent year, it's going to be him. So that's my pick. But I'm secretly rooting for Chet Holmgren.
No, you took my pick again.
It's a 2-man race. It's only going to be one of them two.
Before the show,
so I'll take Wemby and you can take Chet.
I want to tell the listeners and viewers something. Before the show, JT's like, why don't you just intro everything? And I thought that was odd. I knew he was setting me
You
up
did
for
it last show
something.
and it worked out
And
well.
he knew that those were the guys I was going to pick. So I've got Rookie of the Year, Chet Holmgren, because even though everyone wants Wembanyama to
I
win
don't.
it,
I want him to earn it.
to win it, I think the thing is Chet's going to play really well, and that Oklahoma City team's giving me good vibes out of there, and I think he's going to be the beneficiary of that compared to Wembanyama, and maybe the Spurs won't be so good, and it'll be a bad reflection on him, even though it won't be his fault.
Agree. I mean, also Chet's been in the league for a year, where there's
Correct.
Adjusting to NBA
Now,
life.
granted, he was injured. He was injured.
The foot injury does concern me because with those type of injuries with guys that big, at some point he's going to re-injure it. It might not be to the severity of the first time.
Right.
Maybe it won't be this year, but I do want Chet to win because I feel like if he was in the league last year playing not injured, I think it would have been crazy three-way tie between him, Paolo, and the guy I picked, Jalen Williams. To
there
win.
Was no three-way tie.
It would have been a three-way. It would have been a three-way battle, man.
I made this prediction last year. I was right as usual. There was no tie,
the
bro.
Easy road out. It was only going to be him.
There's no tie. This is why you want. This is why you wanted to go first. Is this why you wanted to go first this year?
Even a starter. I was like, I like this kid.
Is this why? Is this why you wanted to go first this year? So I couldn't get the answers right. All right, next one. Coach of the Year.
My man Mark out in OKC. You already said it, man.
No,
Mark D.
You did
Mark
it again.
D. It's set up, man. Sam, hey, look, the Thunder have done all this tanking and pick building, and now they got a team that on paper looks like it's scary. And now they're gonna actually try to win games, man. My man Mark D, Coach of the Year.
Yeah, you don't even know how to say his last name. This is the last time I do predictions, and I let you go first. You're introing from now until the end of time we do this show. Predictions. You go first because I had him too. You don't even know how to say his last name. My guy Mark D. There's a lot of Mark D's out there.
Mark Archidiakono II.
It's not Diakono.
I know. I wanted to hear you say it
Mark Daigneault.
I know. I just want to hear you say it. You're so great at pronunciations.
You don't know.
I call him Mark D. That's my man.
Listen, I would go Mark Daigneault, but since you went with him, I'm going to pick a second one as well. I'm going to go the guy in Orlando, Jamal Mosley. I think they make that next.
He deserves it because
probably last year
they were almost a play-in last year.
Yeah.
And I feel like I feel bad for guys like him because I think he is such a good coach, but I feel like teams only see him as like the bridge, or you build up a young team and then when you get them ready to that point, we bring in a new guy. So
yeah, see, Scotty's laughing. Archidiakono, bro. You know why? Because Scotty's a big Villanova fan, so he loves you threw in the Villanova guy.
That's what we call comedic genius. I can make everyone laugh with just one joke. It means something to different people. That's comedic genius.
You were just
you pay me for.
You're just being rude. All right, I got Jamal Mosley in addition to Mark Daigneault. So, comeback player of the year.
This was tough.
I think I should go first because you're probably
go first.
I'm going to go Cade Cunningham. He got hurt early on in the year. It was a big injury, the stress fracture, I believe. And I think he's going to, you know how much you know how much I love Cade Cunningham's game.
I think I know your first 5 picks of this draft.
You do. I'm not going to lie about it. I thought you would know anyway. And then on top of that, I named my fantasy team after him, and then he gets hurt.
Cade Kit.
So
loved it.
First Cade Kit. I really needed a first Cade.
Your team was struggling last year with some injuries,
but I still made the playoffs.
Who'd you lose to?
I worked my magic. I'm going to go Cade Cunningham. I think he has a big bounce back year.
I like Cade. I think he can definitely do that. The guy that I'm going to pick I think he's going to have a better year than last year because he's healthy. And I also think there's a chance that he gets moved to a team where he can have a fresh start and do better. It's Karl Anthony Towns. Like, I think he is too talented to not bounce back to what we've seen maybe like 2 years ago. So I'm going with him.
Interesting. Okay. Last one. This is the big money one. NBA Finals pick and the winner.
All right. So we go on Eastern Conference first?
No, just give.
Oh,
just give
okay.
the two NBA
I went
finals.
ECF.
Nah, we don't do ECF and
We did it last year, man.
That's too much. Let's
Well,
go.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it
No
anyway.
one cares.
So I'm going with a
Oh,
rematch of last year in the ECF. I'm going Celtic versus Heat, and then I'm going the Nuggets and the Suns in the West. And then I think our luck runs out. I think the Celtics get us, and they're gonna play against the Suns, and I think the Celtics are gonna win it all.
interesting. I'm gonna go Milwaukee Bucks, and I'm gonna go a little dangerous here. I'm gonna go Sacramento Kings. I think it's their time to shine.
Oh, that's it. Sabonis second round.
I
Sabonis in the
think-
second round. I already know. Damn, bro. I'm literally gonna map out your first 7 picks of this draft.
Can you give them to me?
No.
Can you just give them to me.
I'm not gonna give you this all-star team. You gotta earn it.
Well, I think it's the Sacramento Kings. I think they're going to be not as sneaky, but when they get in the playoffs, they've got that experience now.
Healthy.
And what's that?
They're gonna be healthy in the playoffs this time.
And if they can be healthy, I think that they could beat anybody in there. It's going to be tough. The West is tough, but at the end of the day, I've got Milwaukee Bucks winning it all. They have the pedigree. Now they got Dame. They're going to do it for Dame. Good basketball town. So I'm going the Milwaukee Bucks as the champs over Sacramento.
So basically, I mean, I like the Kings. That's a sneaky pick. You just gotta hope that Keegan Murray takes like that next step.
Yeah,
I think that's
couple
be key
guys
for them.
Yeah. Couple guys will definitely need to there. And the bench has to step up like they did last year as well. So
perfect.
It's a risky pick.
No Sixers love on this show. I can live with it.
Yeah, but you still gave love to the Celtics. See, you got Scotty all happy now.
Because you know what? I'm realistic. I thought the Heat window would be dead 2 years ago when we lost, and we got a little bit more life left, but I just can't see us winning this way without acquiring talent like that's ready to win now. Like if we had Dame or we get James Harden, my mind will change. But I'm like, we're basically going to be down to Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo again. I've seen that.
You see teams improving during the offseason, but you didn't see how the Heat improved. So how did they jump? How did they jump the Celtics and the Bucks? I got you.
Exactly.
I got you. All right. So you spelled it wrong. It's forget about it for Gazy with the H.
Yeah, we love pissing you off. So let's go through this quick. Let's go through this quick and let's end the show.
First one, Damian Lillard makes the Bucks title favorites.
No. For Gazy.
Forget about it. I gave you my explanation
because I can't put them ahead of the Nuggets. I can't put them ahead of the Suns, and I can't put them ahead of the Celtics. That's just me.
Forget about it. Forget about you and forget about it because that is a true statement. They're the title favorites.
Don't want
How
me
are
to
they not?
What NBA circles are already saying about the Bucks, but I'll tell you.
So now not only are you social media, but you're in the know with the NBA circle. Wow, man. I want to live your life, bro. I want to live your life. All right.
I'll send you an invite.
I didn't quite understand this one, but the production team allowed it in. So you might have to explain it. Kawhi and Paul George will not be load management all-stars this season.
It was a play on, them always missing games and being hurt. Basically, they will play a lot of games together this season and finally do what we thought they would do, get into LA, which is play a majority of a season healthy together. So do you think Paul George and Kawhi Leonard will play a majority of the games together this year for the Clippers?
Fugazi. That's Fugazi. I mean, that's almost a guarantee. It's Fugazi. One of them's either going to get hurt or they'll just load manage them. I mean, it's Fugazi.
I think it's forget about it, man. I think sometimes when guys always miss a lot of games, at some point they get healthy enough to play a decent amount of games. And I think the NBA is cracking down on load management. I think this is going to be for the time that they are going to be Clippers together. I think this year is going to be the most games they play together. And I think it's going to be a significant amount.
But you're also saying they're all-stars.
I was saying load management all-stars. They're the all-stars of missing games.
Gotcha.
I didn't think the joke took this much for you to understand.
It did. Because forget about it for Fugazi. You got to figure it out. I'm going to say that's Fugazi. That's Fugazi.
Whatever.
History has shown it's Fugazi.
Mama's wrong.
Right,
next.
Last one. What's that?
Nothing. Next.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Aaron Rodgers will play again this season.
Fugazi. Bro, I'm tired of this man out there stealing the. He is such an attention hog.
You keep hyping up the train. I don't know what you're
bro.
doing.
And he's such an attention hog. He's like, oh, as soon as my team has some success without me, let me get out there and show him I'm close to coming back. It's like he's threatening them.
Don't forget about me.
Zach Wilson wins the game. He's like, all right, don't make me come out there and show you I'm ready. Like, no, he ain't playing, man. Dude just tore his Achilles. No way he comes back.
It's Fugazi. He toured about 5 weeks ago, and he was talking about it 5 hours after the surgery that he's coming back. Listen,
I don't care how many mushrooms he eats in that damn cabin. He ain't coming back, man. It ain't happening.
And you're not making that deep enough of a playoff run for you to come back. So
I ain't coming. If I am, I ain't coming back for no damn wild card team. like we need home field advantage. We need the number 1 seed. I need a bye week, and then I'll let you guys know.
And we need the Super Bowl at the end of March.
For real. Like, I'll do a walkthrough at that point, and then we'll see. Game time decision.
All right. So I'm glad that we both agree on that one and that it is Fugazi. So let's go to weekend predictions.
Oh, this should be good. I can tell by how many games there are. I can pretty much guess where your record lies.
So I'm gonna total it up here. All right. I
like you ain't already got it written.
I did not. So looking at the games last week, all right. I mean, I had a heck of a week. I went 4-0 to bring my record to 10-11. All right. You went 1-3 to bring your record to 12-9. So I'm only 2 games behind. And Coach C brought his record 3-1. So he is now 12-9. So you guys are tied at 12-9. I'm 2 games behind. It's getting close. He gonna
keep gerrymandering the schedule until he gets to number 1. So once he take the lead, we ain't gonna even have weekend predictions.
I'm going to get Coach Connor's predictions off the air, but let's go with ours here. Penn State at Ohio State. Who do you have?
I gotta go Ohio State.
Yeah, me too. I think it's time for Penn State to lose. All right, Tennessee at Alabama.
Bama.
I got Alabama as well. I think Tennessee. Sorry, not your season. Duke at Florida State.
FSU.
Ah, man, I was hoping you'd go Duke. I'm going to go Florida State as well. I think they got back. They got their mojo back there. And the last one, why are you so unenthusiastic about?
Because I'm not stupid. I know why you put this game on the guessing is because you knew that we picked the same games the first 3, and you're hoping this will be the tiebreaker to get your record back because you're gonna pick USC.
I don't know what you're talking. These are the 4
I'm picking Utah.
They're the only 4 where it's ranked against ranked. I'm not making these up.
Whatever. It's Utah. I'm picking Utah. Now go ahead and pick USC so you can claim you went 4-0 this weekend.
Utah at USC. JT's going Utah. Of course, I'm going USC. I think they bounce back in a big way, and it is at home. So let's go to the NFL where
the games are even less, so his record must be getting close.
I'll get I'll get Kendall Calhoun's predictions off air as well. But looking at last week, JT, good job. You went 2-1. You had the best record last week, so you're now 8-7. Kendall and myself both went 1-2. So I'm at 8-7.
So he gonna shorten the games until he can get into second place. Man, be for real and put the whole slate on here and let's guess it.
So King Ken is 10-5 in the lead, and then JT and myself are tied at 8-7. We can't put the whole slate, like no one's gonna care that much.
If we put the whole slate, you might not ever catch me and Kim.
Hey, after last week's college football, you better watch out, buddy. I may have passed you last week that we put more games.
The amount of games we can pick.
All right, so NFL weekend predictions. Lions at Ravens.
Look, man, we just talked about the Lions are for real, but it's on the road in Baltimore. My Super Bowl pick, I got to go with the Ravens.
I'm going to go Ravens as well because it's in Baltimore. The Lions at some point can't keep winning.
They're going to be Cubs at some point. Let's be real.
they're gonna have a hiccup somewhere, and I think it's this week. Steelers, my Steelers at the Rams.
Rams.
Ooh.
I'm feeling it, man. The Rams are for real, and they're at home.
All right. I gotta go with my team. I'm just going with my team here. I'm just going Steelers. They're coming off a bye. So
for Matt Canada, that doesn't really mean anything.
He had 2 weeks to come up with worse plays.
He had two weeks to find out how to run Najee Harris 30 times in between the tackles for 2 yards of carry. Got it.
All right, last one. Dolphins. Your Dolphins at the Eagles.
You know what? I'm probably gonna make the wrong choice. I'm gonna go with my Dolphins, man. I'm gonna show some faith in them. This is the game that I talked about. I need to see them win to say that they're a Super Bowl favorite. So I'm gonna say they get it done.
I actually agree. Like I said, I'm concerned about the Eagles. The Dolphins are a legit team, and I think they take it to the Eagles. I think the Eagles are struggling. This is the perfect time. It's still not cold yet in Philly. It'll be chilly for the Dolphins, but nothing crazy. No snow.
Ain't gonna be snow.
Right. So I believe in your guys. I think it's the Dolphins. That's the right.
This man worried about Jalen Hurts, but not about Justin Herbert. But that's a conversation for a different day.
Of course.
For a different day. Just let it go. Let it go.
You're going to start adding Justin Herbert to the Josh Allen list, the Gettleman list, the Aaron
picked him as
Rodgers
MVP.
list.
He's not getting on that list yet.
Bro,
if he keep missing open touchdown shots like he did last night, he might be on that list. Because hey, let's put it this way: Tua would have hit those passes.
You will go to the hill for certain guys for no reason, like no reason. And then other guys you love to bash because you're on social media and you see how much everyone else loves those guys. And you got to be a true hater. You just got to be a hater. JT the hater and the Don. Maybe we start to name our show that. JT the hater and the Don. I think that's more fitting. What's that?
Don the cheater. You can tell by the weekend predictions.
It's
obvious what you're up to.
I'm not cheating. I'm winning. How am I cheating?
Wrap it up. All right. I'm not getting into it with you.
Great show. As always, thank you for the fans and listeners for watching and listening, especially leaving comments. We appreciate it. And remember to please subscribe to us, JT and the Don All Sports Podcast. We are presented by Give Us a Shot Network. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, and wherever you find all of your other favorite podcasts. And remember, if you like what we do, leave us a 5-star review. And JT,
if you don't like what we do,
leave us a 5-star review. And remember to please follow us on social media. Our handle, JT and the Don. We can be found on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and Facebook. So, JT, great job as always. I won again. Your predictions will prove to be wrong. Can't wait for 8 months from now. But until then, and until the next episode, see ya.
Peace.